Welcome to the installation tutorial for the LICADAS LT14 tank monitoring unit. The LT14 is a state-of-the-art solution designed for managing and monitoring your tank inventories. With features like multiple sensor support, usage pattern prediction, and secure inventory control, the LT14 provides comprehensive monitoring capabilities. In this video, we'll guide you through the complete installation process, from unpacking the unit to finalizing the setup in the LICADAS dashboard. By the end of this video, you'll be equipped with all the knowledge you need to set up your LT14 tank monitoring unit efficiently and correctly. Let's get started. Let's start by carefully unpacking your LT14 tank monitoring unit and all included accessories. Ensure you have all the components listed in the inventory checklist. These items should be the LT14 tank monitoring unit, Triad 12-volt power supply. The power supply unit is inside the LT14 enclosure wrapped in static-free bubble wrap. External antenna wire. Carroll 18 gauge. Any additional accessories specified for your configuration, such as sensors, surge protectors, and rubber sensor covers. It's extremely rare, but please inspect each item for any signs of damage or defects, as items can shift in transit. If you encounter any issues, do not proceed with the installation. Instead, contact your supplier immediately for guidance or replacement of the faulty equipment. Once you've confirmed that all components are present and in good condition, you're ready to proceed with the installation. In this section, we'll prepare for the installation by choosing the optimal mounting location and setting up the antenna. Before we begin, it's essential to choose the optimal mounting location for your LT14 unit. This will ensure reliable data transmission and ease of access. The LT14 unit should be centrally located between all the tanks being monitored. This helps minimize cable lengths and reduces potential interference. Make sure the unit is mounted near a power outlet to facilitate easy access to power. Avoid using extension cords, as constant power is advised. Use the mounting wing tabs on the back of the enclosure to securely attach the unit to a stable surface. Ensure that it's protected from environmental elements like moisture and extreme temperatures. Next, let's set up the external antenna. The antenna should be mounted vertically and placed outside to avoid any interference from indoor obstructions. Don't put the antenna tip just slightly above external surfaces. This is not optimal placement. The antenna should be clear of all obstructions 360 degrees. Connect the antenna to the designated port on the LT14 unit. Tighten the connection gently to ensure that it's stable and secure. Be careful not to over-tighten, as this could damage the connector. It is highly advised to cut the antenna wire to the exact length needed to reach from the antenna to the LT14 unit. While in locations with strong cellular connectivity, it may be acceptable to keep the remaining wire intact. Coiling the wire is not recommended. In areas with low connectivity, cutting the antenna wire to the required length can significantly improve throughput and enhance cellular connection in more remote environments. Once the antenna is connected, fine-tune its position to maximize cellular signal strength. Small adjustments can significantly impact signal quality. Now that we have the LT14 unit and antenna set up, let's connect the sensors and other components. The LT14 unit supports various sensor types, including PT submersible, pressure, temperature, and external inline PT sensors. Identify the types of sensors you have and the tanks they'll monitor. Follow the specific installation instructions for each sensor type. For optimal accuracy, securely mount the PT sensors onto or near the tank. When installing the PT sensors, position them as low as possible to capture accurate readings. Ensure there are no air voids between the PT sensor and the liquid being monitored, as even a small air void can result in inaccurate readings. It's important to note that the offset height is not measured from the ground to the bottom of the PT sensor. Instead, it's measured from the bottom of the liquid being monitored to the PT sensor. For example, the external and internal dimensions of tanks may differ slightly, as the bottom of a tank is often thickened and elevated on foam mats, meaning the liquid doesn't start exactly at the external dimensions. If the tank manufacturer provides internal dimensions, it's advised to use those for configuration. On the LICADAS dashboard, if tank dimension configuration is out of specification, a yellow warning triangle will appear next to the dimensions, indicating a potential issue. Additionally, within the tank edit menu on the dashboard, a yellow number may display next to the configuration, highlighting possible measurement discrepancies. To ensure proper installation, it's highly recommended to use a torque wrench. Over-tightening can cause deformation or cracking, impacting the sensor's accuracy. The specified torque for these sensors is 35 Newton meters or 26 foot-pounds. The yellow rubber sensor cover provides an additional line of defense against ingress from dust and moisture. This ensures the sensor remains protected in harsh environments, enhancing durability and reliability. Proper handling of wiring is critical to ensure secure connections and prevent damage to the unit. Be sure to inspect wires for any cuts or nicks in the coating, as exposed wires can lead to shorts or interfere with the device's circuitry. When preparing wires for connection, strip the coating back to the necessary length, typically 1/8 of an inch. This minimizes the risk of exposed wires touching other components or channels on the board, which could cause damage. The wires used in this system are designed for durability and performance. It's advised to use gold-plated brass to tin-plated copper contacts for reliable conductivity and a PVC insulation coating to protect against wear and environmental exposure. Each wire is rated for 4.0 amps and 300 volts, with 4 conductors shielded to provide additional protection against interference. With a recommended IP69K protection rating, the wiring is resistant to dust, moisture, and high-pressure cleaning, making it ideal for harsh operating conditions. Carefully route the cables from each sensor back to the LT14 unit, avoiding any sources of interference or potential damage to the cables. Here you can see 2 terminal blocks, one for power and the other for sensor input. Each terminal block includes 14 channels, which can be paired to monitor up to a total of 14 tanks. Make sure that the channel on the power and sensor block match up. For instance, channel 1 on the sensor block needs to have its corresponding wire in channel 1 on the power block to record the data correctly. Use the openings at the bottom of the LT14 unit enclosure to guide the wires inside, keeping the setup neat and organized. Secure the wires to the appropriate blocks on the motherboard using a 2.0 mm screwdriver. Ensure each connection is tight and secured to prevent any loose connections that could disrupt the operation of the system. Ensure the cord gland is securely tightened to support the cable. This prevents unnecessary strain on the terminals and the board, which could lead to damage over time. Properly securing the cord gland helps maintain a reliable connection and extends the lifespan of the unit. With the sensors and antenna connected, we can now power on the LT14 unit and set up the LICADAS dashboard. Plug the power cable into the bottom of the LICADAS unit and then flip the power switch to initiate the startup sequence. The LT14 unit will display a series of indicator lights to signal its status. The green light indicates that the modem is powered on and operational. The yellow light shows a quick firmware check, followed by the blue light indicating that the SD card is being read. An amber light signifies that the unit is dialing the cellular carrier to establish a connection. A white light marks the completion of the first phase, indicating that initial checks and connections have been successfully completed. During the second phase, the green light remains on. The blue light indicates data preparation. The amber light signifies a stable cellular connection, and the white light indicates successful data transmission to the cloud. Next, log into the LICADAS dashboard using your credentials to add the device data. Navigate to the Devices tab and search for the device number to be set up. Click the pencil icon in the top right corner to modify the device. Identify each port on the LT14 unit and assign it a designation that matches its corresponding sensor. Add the product, tank type, sensor type, and alert quantities. Ensure precise measurements for accurate volume calculations. Add the tank information by selecting the Add Tank option. Enter the precise tank measurements, including the height, diameter, and size in gallons or liters. Specify the PT offset height for accurate readings. Once all the information is entered, save the settings. Verify that the data displayed on the dashboard matches the actual status and measurements from the tanks. With the LT14 unit powered on and the dashboard set up, we're ready to finalize the installation. First, arrange and secure all cables neatly to prevent them from becoming loose or creating trip hazards. Use cable ties or clips to bundle and secure the cables along their routing paths. Ensure that the enclosure of the LT14 unit is securely closed and locked. This protects the internal components from environmental factors and prevents unauthorized access. Check that all access points are sealed properly, especially if the unit is located outdoors. This prevents moisture, dust, and debris from entering the unit. Next, verify that all information entered into the LICADAS dashboard accurately reflects the physical setup. Confirm that the port assignments, tank dimensions, and PT offset heights are correctly recorded. Ensure that the data displayed on the dashboard matches the actual status and measurements from the tanks. Consistency is key for reliable monitoring and inventory management. If you encounter any discrepancies or issues, refer to the troubleshooting section of the manual. Common issues include sensor installation concerns, antenna connectivity problems, and electrical safety issues. By following these steps, you've successfully installed and set up your LICADAS LT14 tank monitoring unit. You're now ready to enjoy efficient and accurate tank monitoring. For more detailed instructions, scan the QR code located inside the LT14 unit to access the full installation manual. This guide will provide step-by-step instructions and additional tips to ensure a successful setup. Thank you for watching this installation video. If you have any questions, please contact your supplier.